Sincere 7, coming to you live and direct from the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit in the Florida edition, as you can see by this beautiful background. Sitting out here by the lake, enjoying my day. And I just thought I would come on to talk about the Sacred Animal Venoms Practitioner Training class offered by the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit. Um, so basically, there's been quite a few people tapping in since we have released the scholarships. Now, let me just give a little history. The Psychonaut Academy of Detroit has been teaching the Sacred Animal Venoms Practitioner Training class since last year. We're coming up on a year. And so a lot of people, when I started teaching, were, requesting scholarships, payment plans, different things of this nature. And at the time, I was explaining to people that um, I was not in a place to do that, to offer those things at the time, right? And that after I got my first nine born, as we call it, that after that we would be willing to do that. So over the last year, we have had nine graduating students um, to go through the class, get certified, get all of their venoms and cambo and different supplies and this things like that. And so after having the ninth student, it was a very exciting time for me because I had said after that, then we will start. And so we have started. We have started offering scholarships as well as payment plans for individuals seeking to take the Sacred Animal Venoms Practitioner Training class. So I just came on to basically speak about that a little bit and give a little bit more information about what that means. Um, so the scholarships that we're offering right now are 25% off of your full tuition scholarships. And there are five different scholarships that we are offering to individuals that are interested in the Sacred Animal Venoms Practitioner Training class. Now, before I go into the scholarships, uh, as more and more time goes on and more people reach out and request and communicate, I have more of an understanding of what it is that people are looking for, what they're expecting, and what they're willing to give for that. So I just want to speak on, first of all, the Sacred Animal Venoms Practitioner Training class is a 6-day intensive class. Okay. Um, so it is a in-person class. It's not on the internet. It's not on Zoom. It's not through workbooks being mailed and things like that. To take part in the Sacred Animal Venoms Practitioner Training class, you have to show up. There are two locations that the class takes part in: Detroit, Michigan, as well as Sunrise, Florida, which is basically right outside of Fort Lauderdale. So, anybody who's interested in taking the class, that's the first thing you got to know is that when you sign up for your class, you will have to show up and actually come and go through all of the lectures and then go through your labs, which include serving yourself Cambo, serving your classmates Cambo, serving yourself snake venom, and serving your classmates snake venom, as well as an introduction to Bufo. So you will get a Bufo experience at the end of the class. When you leave class, you are certified to administer and facilitate Cambo, administer and facilitate snake venom. The Bufo, that certification comes in the second class. So a lot of people who are interested in being able to serve their community Bufo think that if they come and take this class, when they leave, they will be able to serve their community Bufo. That's not the case. Bufo is a entheogen, is a grand heart opener, one of the most powerful entheogens on the planet. And we request that our students do not just come and say, oh, okay, this is how they administer it, and go and start serving it to people. We actually want our students and our colleagues to have a relationship with the Bufo before you begin to administer it. And unfortunately, 6 days is not enough time for you to gain that relationship with the Bufo. So we start our students off at the end of the class with an introduction to Bufo, and then going forward, you will work with it and then you will come back for the rest of what needs to be done to get your certification in that. So that's for those people who have been hitting me up trying to get certified in Bufo and telling me they're not interested in the Cambo or the snake venom. They just want to go straight to the Bufo. That's fine. There are people out here who offer training in Bufo that do not require you to have any understanding or knowledge of the Cambo and the snake venom. Me personally, I'm somewhat of a nerd, and I love education. I love being educated, and I love educating. So with that being said, how I have gained my knowledge and relationship with things is in a certain order and a certain mode of understanding. And so for me, I think that it would just kind of not serve my students or colleagues correctly if I just allow them to come and I tell them this is how you administer and this is how you facilitate, and then go out and start serving Bufo, because they're missing the understanding of the sacred animals as a whole. And to me, they all go together. And I don't mean you have to do one to do the other. I mean that the understanding of coming in, cleansing and detoxifying yourself with Cambo, regenerating, healing, and balancing yourself with snake venom. To me, to jump over all of that and go right into Bufo, as people, I did a video the other day that everybody keeps calling everything a healing. Everything is healing, 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 healing. Well, some of those things that you all are calling healing can be if you use them correctly. So I'm not a person who enjoys the idea of a person who's looking for help or assistance to come and somebody says, "Oh, I know what you need. You need Bufo." "Oh, I serve it," and then come and gives you a Bufo. Like, why? Who said that that's what you need? Did you skip a step? You know what I mean? So with that being said, that is how we operate. And if you don't agree with that, you don't like it, that's not how you want to walk, that's fine. There are people out here who will take, a couple $1,000, tell you come on out, and they'll let you smoke Bufo 3-4 times and then tell you, here, now you can go serve people. That's not how we operate. I'm not knocking them. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But to those who keep hitting me up, telling me I don't care about Cambo or snake venom, I just want to serve Bufo. Yeah, I'll bet. I understand. And since 2020, like I said, there's been an explosion of individuals who want to jump into, different roles and facilitation, administering, and all of that. I'm not one of those people who will just go with that. I'm about education. I'm about integrity. I'm about serving our clients to the best of their ability. And if all you have to offer is Bufo, then I feel like you are limited in your practices and your ability to heal the people and offer them what they might need. This is how I feel. You don't have to feel like this. You don't have to agree with me. But as a teacher, I'm not going to tell people, come on and you can do this. Don't worry about all these things that come before that. That's just not me. So I just want to make that clear. So at the Psychonaut Academy Detroit, you will learn Cambo and snake venom. And then you will go into Bufo, just to make that clear. So you have the lectures, then you have the 3 days of labs, and then you have your experience with the Bufo. And then after you leave, you are ready to go and start serving your community Cambo as well as snake venom. Just to make that clear. So with that being said, it is again, on-site class. You have to travel to Detroit, Michigan, or Sunrise, Florida, to take part in the class. So next year, because last year or this year, I did a class every month at the end of each month. And what I had classes with low amounts of students in them, but repeatedly. So I'm doing a whole lot when I can just compartmentalize all of that down into. So that's what I did for next year. So to go into the next thing, the scheduling. Next year, 2024, there will be 4 classes offered, 1 for each quarter of the year. So January, February, and March, there will be a class in January. April, May, and June, there will be a class in April. June, July, and August, There'll be a class in June, September, October, November, December. The hell? I just threw something off. January, February, March, April or May, June, July, August, September, October. No, that's quarterly. January, February, March, first quarter. April, May, June, second quarter. July, August, September, third quarter. October, November, December. There we go. I was like, wait a minute. So there will be a class offered at the beginning of every quarter of the year. Okay? So only 4 classes offered next year. So that brings me to the payment plans. Understand that some people were telling me, well, I don't have the tuition to pay to come to the class. Can we do payment plans? And I was not offering them. Now we have them. And understand that when you join into the class under the payment plan, now you have up until the time that your class takes part to be able to pay your tuition. So for instance, first class is in January, the very end of January. We're in the end of November. So you have December and January. So if you signed up for January class, you have approximately 8 weeks to pay off your tuition. We'll take the deposit that you paid to sign up for the class, separate that, and the remainder we will cut up into payments, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, until the time for your class to start. Now, if January and the payment plan for January is a bit more than you financially feel like you can be responsible for, then you have the second quarter class, right? So if you look at that, the last class I believe takes place in October, which is almost a full year for you to make your payments. So if you start right now, join the class, make a deposit, you can start making some very small payments until that time comes. When October gets here, you come on to your destination. And for those who said that the time was an issue, now you have months to schedule your class, pay it off, and make preparations with your school, your job, your family, your babysitter, or anything like that ahead of time to know at this time I'll be leaving for 6 days to go and get my certification as a sacred animal venoms practitioner. And the last thing to speak of is the scholarships. I said it, after 9 students, I would start offering scholarships. So now we are offering scholarships. So the scholarships that we are offering is the merit-based. Okay. Excuse me, I'm over here on the computer so I can run this by y'all, speak about the scholarships that we have to offer. Okay. So the scholarships that we have available is the merit-based scholarship, the need-based scholarship, the community service scholarship, the research scholarship, the diversity scholarship. Okay, so for the merit-based scholarship, this is basically why do you deserve this? Based off of your merit, based off of your education, based off of what you have done, what you have showed, right? The need-based scholarship is based off of financial, stability. Like you really want to take the class, and even with the payment plans that we're offering, it's still something that might be out of your range, right? Understandable, you can apply for the need-based scholarship. The community service scholarship is for individuals who have already shown and exuded a grand amount of community service. You've already given quite a bit to your community. I created this because this is how I felt. When I went to get my training, I felt like, wow, I mean, I've already given so much. Why, can I? Forget it. Whatever I need to do, I'll do it. Whatever I need to give, I'll give it. But let's be clear, if you are a person who's shown and given a lot to your community already, you deserve a little break. You deserve a little assistance, especially when it comes to trying to acquire something of service. Let me be clear. As a sacred animal venoms practitioner, you're of service to people. That's what we do. We service people. We assist them in their healing, in their harmony, in their cleansing, in their, health, and their spirituality. And so we are still community based. So for those who have a grand standing in the community already and have given quite a bit, we got a scholarship for you. Okay. And then the next one is the research scholarship application. One of my favorite. What is that about? This is about people who not only do you want to become a sacred animal venoms practitioner, but you also would like to add more to the field of study to the sacred animal venoms practitioner realms. So, for instance, one of my first students by the name of Danny Washburn is an awesome dude up in New York. So if you're in the New York area and you're looking for a practitioner, Danny Washburn, awesome guy. So he came and he got certified. He's now a colleague, and he has taken it upon himself to go and start getting further training in actually handling the venomous snakes, being able to milk the venomous snakes, being able to break down knowledge and understand the scientific applications of the snake venoms, what they can do, the therapeutics of them. See, so this is going a little bit deeper than just being able to administer and facilitate. And there's nothing wrong with those who only facilitate and administer. But for the individuals who want to go deeper into the science, the study, and the research, we got a scholarship for you. And then the next scholarship is the diversity scholarship. Now, this one is something that I find that quite a few people don't realize that they can apply for. Who can apply for the diversity scholarship award? At this point in time, quite a few people. 90% of my students have been white, and 70% of them have been white women. So I have had two men take this class. The rest have been women. So if you're a man and you don't qualify for none of the other scholarships, you might qualify for this one because it's mostly women taking part, right? Furthermore, it's been mostly 80% white people who have taken the class. So with that being said, if you're black, you're Mexican, you're Asian, you're biracial, you're Puerto Rican, you're Yugoslavian, you're whatever, we don't have many or any of you taking the class. What about the LGBTQ community? Well, I didn't ask the sexual preference of the individuals taking the class, but we spoke quite a bit, and the majority of the people taking the class, even though they might tip into one of those qualifications, for the most part, there hasn't been there hasn't been a whole lot of LGBTQ people reaching out. All right, keeping it simple, right? So that is another part of diversity. So when we're talking about the diversity scholarship, we're really saying we're trying to get this alternative form of healing into multiple communities. So if you feel like you are part of a community LGBTQ could be a community. There's a Black community. There's an Asian community, a Hispanic community. These are communities. And we want all communities to be able to enjoy and take part and have the access to these alternative medicines and modalities. So if you feel like you are from a underserved community, then this might be the scholarship for you. Okay? So, with that being said, I hope that I have given you all some insight, given you all something to think about, and maybe giving you all some, encouragement and inspiration, right? Come on and get these modalities so you can be able to serve your community, so you can be able to heal people, that you can be able to help people harmonize their lives, to find balance, to find cleansing. Um, and also, where are you from? Right? We have practitioners in Michigan. We have them in New York. We have them in Iowa. I believe they're from Iowa, right? And Texas. And now there is a student from Florida as well, right? But I had somebody who called me, and I have calls all the time from people in different areas: Montana, North Carolina, Georgia, Colorado, all of these different places where they're needing and requesting for these modalities. But I some of them, cannot afford to have me get to where they're at. We need practitioners where you live. Become the first practitioner in North Carolina. You'll be the only one. Become the first practitioner in Georgia. Well, the only one that's come through the Psychonaut Academy, Detroit. Let me just be clear. There are Cambo practitioners across the U.S. And there are a couple to few, very few, snake venom practitioners, right? So with that being said, this is a profession, if you will, that has a lot of room for growth and development. Has a lot of room for you to get in and put your feet in and create a foundation for your continued success, education, and practice. So, if you think that the Sacred Animal Venoms Practitioner Training class is something for you, please reach out and send me your email address with the request for class info. Give me your email address and request class info. I will get all of the information to you about the class, the schedulings, the scholarships, as well as the payment plans. And I will leave it in your field to go ahead and decide if this is something that you want to do, if it's right for you, and if you'd like to move forward. And if it is, then you can respond and request the applications, and we can go ahead and get you started from there. Otherwise, if you know it's something for you, then go ahead and get a call going with me, or email me, or inbox me, DM me, and give me your email address and request for the applications. We'll get them sent out to you. And if this isn't for you, but you know another practitioner, you know somebody else in the healing realms, in the alternative healing, in the spiritual realms, in the character growth and development, any of those things that you think that this might be good for them or serve them properly, please, by all means, share this video with them. Let them know that they have these things available to them, and let them see if this is something that might be right for them. Thank you. And as always, tell somebody you love them in the language that they can understand it in. Peace.